Hi, welcome to this week's statcast. I've got a few things I want to talk about this week. I've got a few stats from last weekend's matches, and then a bit of a look forward to this weekend, and particularly the Investec Champions Cup tie between Exeter Chiefs and Glasgow Warriors at Sandy Park on Saturday. Now, the first stat I have is one that I have had now knocking around for a day or so, and I still cannot believe it. During Saturday's game between Exeter and Northampton, Dafydd Jenkins, the Exeter skipper, who is still somehow only 21, was on the pitch for 41 minutes before he went off injured. He also had to leave the field for a yellow card, 10 minutes for a yellow card. During those 41 minutes, Exeter Chiefs did not concede a point. He was off the field for 39 minutes, and in that time they conceded 42 points. He is simply not just a captain, he is frankly a freak. It obviously wasn't solely down to him, and in fact the momentum swing was caused by his yellow card in many respects, but it just shows what an incredible influence he is on that side at such a young age. Obviously that was a tight defeat for Exeter, absolutely gutting for those of us who were there, but I think what's really important is actually Chiefs have been on the right side of those sorts of results recently. In fact, in the last 13 months, before Saturday, they'd won 10 out of 11 games that had been settled by 7 points or fewer. So that's now 10 out of 12. I would say Chiefs are still very much up on the deal in those games, and historically have had that great record of winning those tight games that really matter. So that's the first losing bonus point of the season. They only got one losing bonus point in the whole of 2023 away at London Irish in May. So, like I say, Exeter Chiefs have been very much on the right side of those tight games recently. So it seems to be a habit winning those tight games. Let's hope Saturday's a one-off. Now I just want to quickly talk about a couple of stats relating to the women's team. Now, the women had another good win at the weekend against Ealing. And they've got an enormous game on this weekend against Saracens women. But both sides have taken 6 try bonus points from their 6 games so far this season. The previous meetings are a massively storied collection of games already in Chiefs Women's brief history. But I thought I'd look at the try bonus points and see how far back this run goes. And for Chiefs, they've taken 6 out of 6 this season. The try bonus points. They've scored 4 tries in every game they've played so far. They took 16 from 18 regular season games last season, only failing to get a bonus point away at Bristol and in their defeat home to Gloucester last season. And actually, it goes back even to the end of the previous season. So in fact, they've taken 26 from their last 28 league games. So in 26 of those 28 league games, they've scored 4 or more tries. It's absolutely amazing, and that game with Saracens is set to be an absolute humdinger this weekend. So let's hope they can keep that run going, really, and that it's a classic game that helps grow that sport. Now, I know it's a bit of a cliche to say this, but if you do enjoy these videos, please please hit subscribe, please share them, tell your friends about them, get them to as many people as you can. I'm terrible at self-promotion, so any little bit you can do to help would be really appreciated. And the more people that watch these videos, the more chances I'll do more of them because it will help my ego, but the less it will feel like a midlife crisis and me screaming into the void. So, like I say, please share, and if you could hit subscribe as well, that would be fantastic for me. Thanks. Now let's look ahead to Saturday's game between Exeter Chiefs and Glasgow Warriors. It's Glasgow again. If you've got a sense of deja vu about Chiefs playing Glasgow in the Champions Cup, that's entirely reasonable. It'll be Glasgow's 6th visit and the 10th meeting between these sides in the competition. Glasgow have been drawn against Exeter more times than they haven't now since Exeter's 11 campaigns in the Champions Cup. It will be their 6th visit to Sandy Park, as I said earlier. Just for comparison of frequency of visit, Bristol have only made 7 Premiership visits to Sandy Park. So there's only one more for Chiefs' nearest neighbours and rivals. Glasgow, in fact, have been 15% of Chiefs' European games, about 1 in 6.5. So they are very, very familiar opposition. Saturday will actually be Exeter's 35th game at Sandy Park in the Champions Cup, which feels remarkable. I can still remember going to the first European home game against Clermont-Auvergne back in 2012. Chiefs led 12-10 at half time, and I thought, wow, we're going to see something truly remarkable here. We did see something truly remarkable in the second half. Unfortunately, it was Clermont scoring 36 unanswered points. Chiefs got their first win against Scarlets in December that year in their second home game, and since then have gone on to create an incredible array of memories. To be honest, I'd be really interested to see what your favourite European game at Sandy Park's been. Was it the Hale against Sale? Was it the Munster games and the terrific atmosphere? Was it the rain and the fog against Ulster? You know, was it stuffing La Rochelle in the final group game in 2020? There have been some great days in Europe and some terrific wins. And actually, if we talk about the two eras, you can almost talk about two European eras for Chiefs at Sandy Park. Their first 18 home games yielded just 9 wins and a draw, so it's a 50% win rate. But their last 16, which is from the start of that double-winning 1920 season onwards, they've won 14 of those 16 home games and drawn 1, which was against Montpellier, which was really a win because they progressed. In that time, they've scored their highest European score, 52 points, in a 52-17 win against Glasgow on Glasgow's last visit back in January 2022. So it has been 2 years since Glasgow have been down. And their biggest win was also against Glasgow. Actually, it was a 42-0 win behind closed doors in December 2020 on Glasgow's previous visit. So maybe the omens aren't great for Glasgow this weekend. One thing I think it's important to look out for this weekend is Chiefs are approaching 1,000 points at Sandy Park in the Champions Cup. They're on 982 at the moment, so 18 points on Saturday will see them to the 1,000-point mark. It should be a remarkable achievement in 35 home games. And just for comparison, they've not yet scored 1,000 points in home games in the domestic cup competition over the same period. So it does show that they have done some remarkable things in Europe in the time in there. And for those of us who still think of getting into Europe for little old Exeter as a big thing, it is truly great. I hope you've enjoyed this video. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week, hopefully. If you could like, share, hit subscribe, that would be wonderful. But if not, hopefully see you next week. Bye.